All right, we're going to get started back. Try to get you out of here to at a good time. While you finish up lunch, we're going to start our committee reports. I'd like to start with inviting Chairman Terry Sheriff to the stage to give a report on training and education.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good afternoon. Nice to see everybody. Just want to give you some updates for what the Training and Education Committee has done for you. And thank you for allowing us to serve you. One of the things is Fire Service Improvement Conference, January 22nd through the 25th. That's our hands-on training, but also too, we do have some classroom sessions on Friday afternoon and then on Saturday morning. Currently, enrollment started October 1st. We already have 235 students registered. We have 4 classes that are sold out, so make sure you register. Go on and get registered for your class. Limited staffing, heavy lifting, art of supply pumping, and survival rescue decisions have very few slots, so make sure you go in there and register with that. Second, Fire Rescue 2026. The committee met. We had 208 submissions that we reviewed. Fire Rescue is going to be at Myrtle Beach Convention Center June 10th through the 13th. As I said, we had 208 submissions that we reviewed. A lot of them from our in-state instructors, but also to our national instructors. We had several first-time submittals. Like we keep on saying, we got a lot of talent in this state, so keep them coming. We look forward to seeing you there, and also having some new instructors, first time instructing at the conference. Make sure you book your rooms early. We know they sell out very quick, so make sure you go on the hotel and the website to register for and get your hotel. For more information, visit the website and also to follow Facebook, but also subscribe to Rattle Watch. That's how you can keep up with all the events that's going on today and through the year. With that, that's my report, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you, Terry. As he mentioned, that committee stays very busy throughout the year, going through applications, working through different events that we host. So a lot of time on his committee, so thank you for that. As he mentioned, Fire Service Improvement, probably our next big training event, so make sure you work with your folks and get them signed up as soon as you can before those completely fill up. Next, I'd like to ask OSHA Chairman Joe Palmer to come to the stage to give a report.
Thank you, Mr. President, for giving me 45 minutes to go through this. Only a couple of people listening. 30 cents. We're bidding. Thank you, folks, for having the opportunity to listen. Just a few moments, give you an update on the process of which many of you are probably familiar. In late 2023, the feds dropped the new 1910-156. It went from an industrial fire brigade standard to an emergency response standard, all inclusive of all branches of emergency response. The 604-page diatribe on a 67-page document was staggering if you've had the chance to look at it. So in 2024, in response to that, the association participated in a number of online rebuttals, opportunities for written comment, and it was clearly noted that as a servant to you and a leader in the emergency response community, we needed to organize a multidisciplinary stakeholder group to meet and start addressing the concerns we had about the proposed OSHA standard. Out of that has come a number of working groups, thank you, sir, a number of working groups that have worked on components of what we're dubbing a state plan, as you are familiar from your years of work with the fire service and emergency response community. South Carolina is an OSHA state, which means we get the opportunity to write our own plan. The association's leadership team, under the direction of presidents, have authorized a working group to develop a OSHA 1910-156 South Carolina plan. The current draft, written draft 19 of the document. The document is divided into 5 subparts. Instead of lumping everybody together in just some common language, the desire was to be able to segregate out parts of our population, and those 5 subparts are fire, EMS, special ops, law enforcement, and the industrial teams, WERS or WORDS as they are referred to in the new federal language. We have currently written the fire, subpart A, fire. It has been written and it has been beta tested. We have made some corrections and changes to that document. Currently working it through the EMS subpart B. It has been written. The subject matter expert team has met. We're currently soliciting individuals, and I'll extend this to you. If you have individuals who are very passionate in the EMS component of what we do, we would welcome individuals to participate in our beta test process for subpart B, the EMS component. What that beta test group does is they take the work of the subject matter experts, the writers, the authors, if you will, and do an in-depth review, line by line, participate in some online conversations, answer some questionnaires. And so we are currently soliciting individuals for the beta test for subpart B. Myself or Director Helms would be glad to entertain any names if you've got an individual who wants to invest some time in doing that. It is not superficial, it is detailed. So I'm just warning you up front that individual will be committing some time over the period of 2 or 3 weeks to delve into that process, but we welcome that. I just literally got up from the table. Chad and I were having a conversation about the development for the special ops and subpart C. I'll jump down though and tell you about subpart E, the industrial parts. About 2/3 of the way written. In the next couple of weeks, we'll be assembling a team to start the writer, subject matter expert component of that. Hopefully to complete that as the holidays allow through the remainder of this calendar year. All that to say that, and I'm biased when I say this, but your association stepped up and assumed a leadership role in trying to do this. It's not a takeover role. I extend my appreciation and thanks to the executive committee for having the vision to be able to see that someone had to step up and we had to take this. And so we have been diligently working with other associations, with other disciplines, with the industrial community in the formulation of this. So it's not ours, but we're just, thank goodness, our leadership has been able to say, we've got to take the lead in getting this done. I will tell you that the Fed plan has somewhat stalled intentionally with the opportunity of giving a number of national level association groups together and give them an opportunity to try to work out some of the compromise issues. The latest intelligence I have is I'm not so sure that's going very well, but it is a conversation that's ongoing. Eventually that Fed plan will drop. And so I think one of the biggest things we're watching and reacting to now, and ultimately decisions to be made, is what we do with our state plan once it's perfected, these 5 parts through its beta testing and it's in a final form, whatever draft number that may be. And so that's the biggest conversation we're having now, is whether to proceed and go on with the state plan or to wait and see what the feds do. There's wisdom in both. I have an opinion, but we work in the direction of. And so I will speak, Mr. President, with your permission. I think the executive committee has some intention of sometime in the month of January to take up a little bit more of those philosophical questions to try to make some decisions about what we do with this development plan. So I've talked a lot about the process, what's in the document itself. I'm not going to take your time to try to pull something up on screen and walk you through the content. I'll be here for the remainder of the day. My email is the same as it always has been, and you can get in contact with me through the association. And there's a website, there's a web page. And so if you'd like to scan that, that'll take you directly to the web page where a lot of the history and background of this is found. On that web page is not the actual draft 19. And the reason we didn't put draft 19 on that web page is, and you can appreciate this, it's in a draft. So I give you something today, next week it changes. And then you're gonna call me up and say, hey, why is this, or why isn't this? And I'll go, well, that was draft 19, we're on draft 22. So we've been hesitant to put up the actual draft, but I will tell you, I will give that to you. Contact me, see me, want me to send it to you by email. With the caveat and understanding it's a draft, it changes every day, every week. But we had the opportunity to share that with the special purpose districts last week, Chief Jolly, Chief Graham, and so I think that was well received. I'd like to do the same with you. If you'd like to have those detailed conversations, I'll come to you. You've got a group similar to this who wants to meet and delve into literally 30, 45 minutes worth. I'll be glad to go through that plan in detail with you for what we've got at this point. But I'll be around if there's any questions after this. Mr. President, that's my report.
Thank you, Joe, for that update. I know it's been ongoing for several years, but the OSHA improvements there as they go through those section by section, we definitely want to continue to support that. And as Joe said, we're looking in January into meeting and kind of looking in depth more of what's been done so far, so we can kind of put more of a seal of approval on that and keep it moving forward. Now I'd like to invite Zarina Harmon to the stage to share some updates of the fire service insurance.
Good afternoon, guys and girls. Just wanted to briefly tell you that the memorial service has been scheduled for February the 21st at 2 p.m. at Riverland Hills Baptist Church, same location, just a different date. We usually have it that Valentine's Day weekend, so now we have moved it outside of that, so everybody should be happy. But the letters went out to all the departments of those that had somebody pass. So if you have any questions about that, or something doesn't look right, or one of your members is not on that list, please reach out to us so we can make sure that we start working on correcting that and getting information out to the families. And if you have those letters, we're requesting that everybody turn in pictures for the memorial of the fallen that we're going to honor. Also, we get a lot of escorts from your areas, so if you would like to escort a family member, please give us a call and we will have you there helping out that day. Also, our Member Benefits Committee has been working for years and continues to work on your benefits. And what we have done recently is change a little bit of things on the website. We've rebranded to be member exclusives. So please take advantage of that. Go online, look those up. There are tons of things out there for you all to take advantage of. So just wanted to remind you all of that. Also, as you know, member benefits, insurance, we try to partner with those that we feel have the highest quality of products available to the fire service. And today I just wanted to take a second. I think some of you have already seen her out and about. Tracy Smith with Optivise, and she sells a product through a carrier called Washington National, and they do other things as well. But she comes from a first responder background, and we loved her story. We loved the partnership that they are going to bring to the table, all the products that they have available for you all, not only on group, but also individually. So just wanted to take a minute to welcome her and her company, and see if you want to say a few things.
Hello, everybody. I see a lot of familiar faces. We have started this whole process of our partnership with the Firefighters Association, and me and my team have been coming around, setting up time to sit with the people, get in front of your guys, and explain the benefits of listening to what we bring to the table. We are very familiar with the fact that there's been several other people in the past that you have other coverage. We're going to be the kind of people that are going to sit down with you, look at what you have, explain what you have. If it's good coverage, we'll encourage you to keep it. We're really just here to be able to give you a better option, in my personal opinion. Like Zarina said, I came from first response. I was in it for about 15 years total, and when I got injured in the line of duty, I quickly learned how important insurance really is. So now my mission is to work with fellow first responders. I've been very blessed to partner with them and be able to get inside each of these firehouses and be able to properly protect our loved ones. Just so that we make sure not only are you taken care of, but your benefits will also take care of the people that you go home to, your families, which is what is so important to us as well. I do want to take just a second. I am Tracy Smith. This is Madeline Burt. She is one of the girls that will be calling. We do try to get to the house to schedule it just so that we can make sure that nothing happens as far as already having training on the books. We want to make sure we're working to what's going to work best for you and for your people. But some of us, myself and Maddie, and there's a couple other people that will be calling and getting these appointments scheduled just so that we're not doing pop-ups and missing out on an opportunity to get this scheduled. Because there's a lot of houses in this state, is what we've learned. But I do want to take time just to thank each and every one of you that's in this room as a fellow first responder and as someone who thoroughly enjoys working with you guys every day. I want to tell you thank you for what you do. Thank you for the sacrifice that you guys give each and every day. And I also want to thank your families for allowing you to move forward with this career and with this endeavor that you guys put forth every day. Thank you. And I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of you. We'll be making our rounds. So just hang in there. And if you see two crazy little insurance girls show up, don't shove us out the door. We're there to do good stuff for you, okay? Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you, Tracy, for what you and your team do to support the fire service. Also, thank you, Zarina, for all that your staff does. Good reminder there for the memorial service on February 21st of next year. If you've never attended that, please mark your calendars for that Saturday at 2 p.m. It's a good service, very humbling that day to see folks from around the state, but pay respects as well. Another last report would be Patty Gray to share SC Fast.
Good afternoon. I want to share about 3 things with you. First, about the post-critical incident seminar. Just a little bit of overview about what that is. The FBI started it back in the 80s, and it's to help people who are still struggling with a past critical incident. It doesn't take the place of counseling or psychotherapy, but it is a time to come together and work through things with fellow peers. SC LEAP, South Carolina Law Enforcement Assistance Program, started doing this probably over 20 years ago. This Monday, they'll start number 61. And so we're working with them to bring the very first in the nation for fire and EMS. We have 35 slots. We have about 19 filled out now. The only cost that there is that we ask that the sending agency cover the hotel room for the night, and that's $65 a night. It's in North Myrtle Beach, so if you're traveling up here, you might want to come Sunday night, depending on where you're coming from. You might want to come Sunday night. All the information and the registration, it is for the first responder and their significant other or spouse. Again, it's free. We're going to eat good. There's a lot of good cooks, of course, in the first responder world, and we're super excited about that. So any questions you have. The second thing I want to talk about is training that we offer tomorrow and Friday. We're going to be with Bowling Springs in Spartanburg presenting our 3-hour Who is SC Fast program. And then in Greenville, with Greenville City Fire, we've still got a couple of more spots in that class. We're doing our 16-hour peer training. I know some of you in the room have had that, and it is, again, free. So when we do the 3-hour 101, SC Fast 101, we can pretty much do it any way that works for your agency. If we need to do half in the morning, so you don't have to take everybody off the trucks each day. And then the last thing I want to tell you about is Mile in Our Boots. Some of you have heard us talk about our clinician academy that we do. We want culturally competent clinicians. Sometimes I feel like I say that 100 times a day. But when you or your people or I need to go talk to somebody, we want a counselor or a clinician that's competent, culturally competent with what we do, and understanding trauma and understanding the intricacies of what we do. So a couple other programs have developed since we started. This is our 4th year, the first in the nation, where we bring mental health clinicians in. We put them through the burn building. We let them flow water. We let them feel, being on air. We send them through a law enforcement part, an EMS, they run an ambulance and do a scenario, and 911. So they learn more about who we are and why we do what we do. And so if you work with clinicians or know any clinicians that want to work with first responders, this will be April, in April of next year. In-state cost is $300. We don't want to make it cost prohibitive, so in-state of South Carolina, $300 for the clinician. Out of state, it's $500, and we've got returning folks every year. So y'all know, any questions at all, just let me know. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Patty, and thank you for everything that your team continues to do as that team grows. They support the fire service or really all emergency services across the state 24/7, night and day. That group is out supporting all of you. So if there's anything they can do, please make sure you reach out. That concludes our committee reports. Then we will move into old business. Just a couple of quick reminders, some things that are going on. Membership dues, a lot of those invoices went out earlier this month. Over the last several weeks, those went out to you, so you should have received that, or you will be receiving those if you haven't, so be looking for that. Those are all due to be paid by January 1st. That again just solidifies all your member benefits, access to training, everything that's offered. All of that is included in your membership fees. So if you have any questions, have any issues with that, please see one of the staff members wearing one of these white golf shirts with the fun pattern on it. So easy to find someone if you have any questions before you leave today. Awards. Looking at the awards deadline. Again, those are due January 31st. Many times we do what we do in the fire service and we don't really give ourselves recognition. We think we're just doing our normal job. So after chairing that committee a couple years ago, it's nice to see departments that are writing up things and to recognize their members or the collaboration within their district. So make sure you look at those award categories. Just real quick, I'll throw those out there, but all of this is on the website. Meritorious Action, Medal of Valor, Media Award, Firefighter of the Year, Educator of the Year, Citizenship, Hall of Fame, and the Lifetime Achievement. Again, on the website, if you go under membership and click the awards tab, you can find all of the criteria that has to be met and the deadlines to submit everything. As we move into our association building update, back when we were at Fire Rescue in Myrtle Beach, we announced that we were in the process of going through closing on a building. All of that did go through. We completed the purchase back in August of the old FBI building, which is in the same office park in Columbia. So it's in West Park, just kind of down around the corner from where the association office is currently today. So as Director Helms comes to the stage, just want to tell you all that we're excited about this venture, and he will update you on.
Thank you, Mr. President. As President Womack said, we did complete the purchase. The building's now ours. This is the new sign that'll be going up hopefully in a couple of days. We're waiting on it to be finalized. It shows the association and all of our partnering agencies underneath that logo, all as one. A couple of quick things just for your knowledge. The association currently sits in about, if you can see the board, sits with about 6,000 square feet of building. In 2020, it was asked to try to expand that to allow us to better serve our membership. What you see here is about a 50,000 square foot, 2-story building, 25 on the bottom, 25 on top. And then you see an annex building there with all the parking, and that's the property line. And this property here behind is vacant and has been for some time, so we don't anticipate anything coming in behind us. Fully secured building. It's a former FBI building. It's hardened. It's got a generator. It's got, security gate completely around, fencing completely around. One thing we want to show you, if I can get this to advance, that's the front of the building. We're in preliminary drawings. Nothing has been set in stone yet. There's going to be 4 different teams of folks working on this from different angles, from a design team to a marketing team to a capital campaign team. And then our 4th team would be the finance team that's going to be managing the money coming in, making sure everything stays in line. The initial thoughts is on the bottom floor. That becomes the Heritage Center. So about 12,000 square feet of that would be a museum piece that will show the history of the South Carolina Fire Service as a whole. We have small pockets of museums around in Columbia. Anderson has one. Quite a few other departments, but we're trying to bring in some of the history as a whole to show what we can do. The thought process is this area here will become like a parking area, but more so like a pad that would pull into a fire station some sort of doors will be put into there. We're still looking at that. They're working on some design options. But this area on the bottom floor, if you could picture, I'll show you in just a second, half of the building. If I can get this to advance. There we go. Well, that's the annex. We'll come back to that. Here's where we want to show you right here. This is the bottom floor. You can see that this area right here, initially, the thoughts are that this would be an entranceway. This would be your museum piece. It provides them the ability to store in the back and have plenty of show space. Over here, we're looking at a kitchen that will allow us to do our own catering, not have to pay $40 for a gallon of tea or something like that. We would be able to control cost a lot. It also would have a huge training center as part of the Heritage Center. That training center should be, if we have it the way we hope to have it, it'll seat about 500 people, maybe more depending on how they lay it out. But it can be divided off into multiple rooms using air walls. So it will allow us, like for fire service improvement, to have our own facility to hold the big, large classes versus having to rent space. So down the road, it's going to really help us save some funding. Obviously, the back would have that catering or that full-size commercial type kitchen, depending on what the design team comes up with. So that's kind of what you would see. When we initially laid this out in 23, we thought if we could get 6,000 square feet for the museum piece, we were doing great. Now we're doubling that. So it's going to give us a lot of future growth. It's going to take us into the next 120 years or more. Let's see, let's go back a little bit so I can show you. That's the annex building. That's another additional 5,400 square feet. This is going to allow us to initially be able to sort out all of our history stuff, get it cataloged, get it archived, get it ready to go properly, documented. And then as things change, we'll be able to, and we transition into the building, we'll be able to use this to bring all of our trailers in, the last trailer, all of our burn pod trailers. Most of that's being stored graciously out at State Fire, and I'm sure they'd love to have that space to be able to put some other stuff out there as well. So it's going to help both us and them. A couple other things real quick. Let's see, one way with it. This is the second floor. So the other 12,000 or 25,000 square feet, we're talking about, oh, dang it, Jimmy. Here we go. We're talking about this, possibly we could flip it, we're not sure yet, but you'd have your office spaces, executive committee boardrooms, breakout rooms. You notice we're doing a lot more videoing and social media type stuff. We wanted to create a marketing kind of, I call it, our creative station, imagination station for our folks to be able to imagine how to better market and better serve our members. Our plan is to initially get this renovated. We're looking to put our building on the market here soon. If we get what we think we're going to get for that building, or at least close, we should be able to get staff moved in initially and then come back and do the other renovations as funding allows. On this side, it's open. We haven't decided anything yet. There's a lot of different options on the table. Leave it open, additional storage, make other type of opportunities for the association to use that facility, or possibly we could rent it out to some sort of a like-minded association, EMS, whoever, Sheriff's Department, anybody that would want space to rent, we would have that opportunity. So there could be some money opportunities there. We're just not sure how that would impact us as far as our status with tax IRS and that kind of stuff. We'd have to weigh those options. But it's a big building, it's got plenty of space, and it will take us forward. So what we're doing now is we're fixing to step into a capital campaign. We're looking to try to raise somewhere around $12 million. And I know that sounds like a very huge number, but in talking to a lot of our partners that do fundraising on the federal level, in FFF and a bunch of other folks that we talked to, your executive committee and your staff, believe we can make that happen. We're very confident that our membership coming together and pulling as one can easily raise that kind of money. This is going to give us opportunities to build community relationships with our law enforcement partners, our other folks that hold big meetings. They've got space now that they can come in and use and be partner with. But we feel we can reach that, but we've got to come together and everybody's got to pull the train. We created a conference last year, Friends of the South Carolina Fire Service, or Friends of the South Carolina Heritage Center Museum. That's a long name, right? So we've shortened it back down. We're starting a campaign of Friends of the Heritage Center, South Carolina Fire Heritage Center. And it's going to have different levels of giving. It's going to have different opportunities. From our everyday firefighter that wants to give just what he can or she can out of their paycheck of $5, or want to give you a lump sum of $25, there's that opportunity. But it also gives us the opportunity to go and talk to some of our big corporate membership who can give us hundreds of thousands to possibly millions if they wanted to. There's people in South Carolina that could probably stroke a check for $12 million if they really believe in the project and wanted to do that. What we're asking of our membership is to help us find those people. Each and every one of you probably know somebody that would probably be willing to donate something, whether it's services or whether it's funds. And we would love to know who those people are. Not asking you to go sell anything, not asking you to go make phone calls or go knock on their door. We'll take care of that. If you have a personal relationship with those people, we'd like to have you go with us. If you know something that ties them to the fire service, we would like to know that. So I ask each and every one of you to go out and talk about it and think about it. We're going to use this building to benefit all 17,000 plus firefighters in the state. We got grand plans. We got a big uphill climb, but we can do it if we all do it together. I'll be around for a while if you want to ask questions about it. As things start progressing, we'll start sending things out. We'll have a web page put up so everybody can see where our fundraising goals are going. We've got our first challenge. We've already got a big donation of $50,000 that's come in, and we've had a couple smaller donations. But the Beaufort County Fire Chiefs just sent us $2,500, and they're challenging any other fire association or fire department or anybody that wants to get in on it to try to bring in more money than they do. If they want to fundraise and try to beat them, then let's get that started. I mean, the competition is always fun for firefighters. So if you're part of a group that might be interested in donating, we'd love to have you join that challenge. It should be going out on social media any day now. If you have questions, come see me, President Womack, or any of the executive committee. These guys are all on board and supporting it, and the staff is behind it, and we're going to make it happen. So we appreciate your support, and thank y'all.
Thank you, Director Helms, for all the detailed information on this big project. As he mentioned, it's been ongoing, it's been a vision for a long time, and we've kind of looked at several different buildings while I've been on the board. A lot of opportunities kind of crossed our plate, but at the end of the day, this seemed to be the best one for the money. A lot of things are coming together, a lot of conversations still to be had, but we're excited about this, and if there's anything that you see that we can do, or you see any ways to support that, please reach out to one of us. We'd love to partner with you in any way that we can. Moving into new business, I'd like to welcome Ms. Rosalie Unwin from the South Carolina Burn Center at MUSC Health in Charleston to give an update.
Hi, everyone. My name's Rosalie. I'm the Outreach Education Coordinator for the Burn Center. I have been in burn care, a little bit about myself, for about 20 years. Most of that has been in Ohio at a burn center. I was a nurse, and I became a nurse practitioner. And then, along with almost everyone else in Ohio, moved here to South Carolina. Was so happy to find a burn center where I can continue to do what I love to do, but in a little different capacity. So raise your hand if you did not know we had a burn center in South Carolina, or if you were unaware of all of the services we provide. Just one? It's great. That number is getting smaller. I usually have about half the crowd who doesn't really know everything that we do. And so that's what I'm here for, to talk a little bit about our burn center, and then also to talk about our outreach program and how we can support one another. All right, so we initially had a burn center, South Carolina. It closed its doors in the year 2000, and that was really due to a lack of resources. And in the meantime, we continued to treat any pediatric patient that had a burn that needed to be admitted to the hospital. We saw them in our children's hospital. But any adult that needed burn care, inpatient burn care, we had to send them out of state. And so for that reason, the state called for funding to return the burn center, and because it was from the state, we're at a state-funded hospital, which is NUC, which is unfortunately at the very bottom of the state, very far away from you guys up here. So just a little bit about us. We are the only inpatient comprehensive burn center in the state. We are very proud to report that we are now verified by the American Burn Association, and we gained this recognition in August of this year. And the American Burn Association grants verification only to those burn centers that meet the nation's highest standards in quality, safety, and comprehensive burn care from the time of injury through recovery and rehabilitation. And so fewer than 80 burn centers in the United States and Canada hold that verification, and of those, only 40 are verified in both children and adults. And we're very proud to say that we're one of those. And so we see adults 16 and older will be in our main hospital. Children 15 and younger we see in the Sean Jenkins Children's Hospital. We have 24/7 care through our emergency department, and we're also a level 1 trauma center, which is very important with burn injuries because they're often polytraumas. And if you have a burn patient that also has a trauma, and you're sending them to a burn center that does not have a trauma verification, you often will have to send them to an outside trauma center, have them cleared, and then they can be sent to the burn center, which can really delay the care that they receive for their burns. And so we're very proud to say that we can do both at the same time in the same facility. We have 25 dedicated burn beds. We're going to be adding 10 more here in the next month. And that doesn't mean we can only see a total of 35 patients. We can actually shift to other floors as we need, always making sure that our burn team is the one that cares for them. And so we never really ever would have to divert a patient due to a lack of beds at this point. We see all aspects of care. We have an ICU, step down, outpatient, and that's for both adults and children. And we also do telemedicine because we do cover the entire state, so we try and make it easier for those coming from the upstate, from the Midlands area, if they had to do some follow-up. We have an inpatient gym to provide the necessary PT, OT, to prevent the loss of function and mobility that can come along with burns. And our therapy team is experts in the needs of the burn care patient. And so what this means is it's going to get our patients back to work, back to school, back to their daily functions of life faster. We have a dedicated burn psychologist and social work because we know that the burn does not injure the skin. Many of our patients struggle with the psychosocial aspects of a burn injury. And so this can look like support such as a burn survivor that can come visit the patient during a hospital, but also we hold many events where we have our burn survivors come back so that they can see that there is support that will continue outside of the hospitalization. We don't only treat the acute injury, we also treat the long-term complications that can arise. So we do scar management and we do the reconstructive therapy as well. We have a robust laser therapy program for our scars, and it's just not burn scars we treat, it can be any scar of any type. And then because we're an academic hospital, we're heavily involved in research. And then community outreach. This is where I come into play, and I want to just talk a couple of minutes about what our program does and how we can support one another. So as first responders, you're often the very first contact that a patient has in a burn emergency. And so we focus heavily on providing the education and support to our first responders to make sure that they are confident in stabilizing the burn patient. So we teach first responders how to recognize the burn severity, fluid resuscitation, airway management, hypothermia prevention, and when to refer to a burn center based off of those American Burn Association guidelines. And this training can be flexible. We can provide it over several days to make sure that everybody can attend those and we meet the needs of the department shifts. And again, we cover the entire state, so we're happy to travel wherever that education is needed. We also provide follow-up opportunities for all of our transports, so it gives you an opportunity to see opportunities for improvement, but just to really see, the follow-up and the care of that patient once they leave your care. And then we're really proud to announce that we did create the EMS Challenge Coin Ceremony, and this is an opportunity to recognize the first responders that are involved in a tough burn call. And so we were able to bring back our EMS team that essentially saved our patient's life, and then we were also very proud to be able to bring up firefighters in who were the ones that pulled the patient from the burning structure as well. So it was just a great opportunity to show them how important it is what they do and how we want to support one another. Community-based burn prevention. This outreach is a very vital part of our burn care outreach strategy, and so we provide community education targeted by age group, risk, and industry. And so, for example, we can offer home safety education for families that have young children. We offer workplace burn prevention for high-risk industries like firefighters. I was even educating a gold mine last year. And then we also can provide safety tips for our seniors who we know are more vulnerable to injuries in the kitchen and scalds and contact burns. We promote burn safety during holidays and during extreme weather when we see that there's a spike in injuries. And so 4th of July, New Year's, we'll talk about fireworks. During the winter, we'll talk about heating accidents and heating safety and frostbite. And then in the summer, we can touch upon things like sand and pavement and grill burn-related incidents. And then we use our social media. And so this allows us to reach a broader audience. And so we'll use our Facebook and our Instagram, and then we'll also reach out to the media with some PSAs as well. Promoting public awareness is very important. Most people in the community don't know that we have a specialized burn center here in South Carolina, and they don't know when they should seek out those services. And so it's very important that we promote that care. It's going to help build recognition and improve early access to care. So we do this through community events, health fairs, open houses, and really just word of mouth by letting people know that we are here and we take care of all burns. We have a school reentry program too. Returning to school can be challenging for a child that has a burn injury, so our child life specialist will work closely with that school, the counselors, and the students to prepare them and answer any questions before that child might return. So it does that in a way that's safe for the child and helps reduce anxiety for them. Again, we do our high-risk industries, and so we'll go out to our local fire departments. I've been to boat manufacturers, really anybody who can have that risk of sustaining a burn injury while at the workplace. And we talk about prevention strategies, and we partner with their safety officers as well. We offer burn survivor reunions. It's just a way for us to bring together previous patients so that they can reflect upon their time spent in the hospital, reunite with their caregivers, and also connect with other people who have had the same injury as them. And one of the most impactful things that we love to support is Camp Can Do. So that is a week-long camp for children in South Carolina who have sustained a burn injury. It allows them to connect with other children with the same type of injury in a safe environment. And this is put on through the South Carolina Firefighters Burn Children's Fund. And so we love to support them and to volunteer. It gives us a way for us to engage in healing outside of the hospital with these patients. And so it's a great opportunity, not just for us, but for the firefighters to come back and join and support them. And not just as being camp counselors, but they also help to support in helping to transport those children to their camp because they do come from all over the state, and sometimes it's tough for them to get back and forth. So what can we do for one another? So quickly. You guys are already leading the way in burn and fire safety prevention, and so we want to help partner and support that. The more people we talk to together, the more people we can help. And so we love collaborating on open houses, especially during Fire Prevention Week. It helps us to share that message. And we are happy to come out, travel. If you're interested in having us support and be in attendance, please let us know. That week, sometimes even that month, fills up pretty quickly for us. But if you just let us know what day you'd like us to come out, we'll put a team together and we'll travel and be there to support you. Prevention campaigns. So we can unite our shared goal of reducing fire and burn injuries, and so we can collaborate on prevention and reach a broader audience. And so, for example, we saw a spike in injuries over the summer with patients who were walking barefoot on the beach, and they were sustaining burns that were deep enough and severe enough that they needed admitted to the hospital. And so I reached out to some of the local fire departments at the beaches, and I asked if they could share that message. On making sure we wear our shoes on the beach, we never walk barefoot on the pavement, and also to some of those businesses out on the beach as well. And so with their help, we were able to reach a broader audience. We can also partner on your smoke alarm blitzes. It can help us reach those high-risk neighborhoods, and we can share our burn prevention information as well. We can collaborate on your education with your youth fire setting intervention, and then we can also help with your fire and burn education at your schools with your little ones. And so we can share both of those messages in a way that really makes sense for the kids. And then one of the most important things that we could do is share data. And so we can provide information on local burn injuries, and that way we both can help to guide our outreach initiatives in that way. So for example, for all the patients that are admitted to our hospital, we know what counties they come from, and we know the mechanism of injury. So if there's a county that we are treating a large portion of patients that maybe they were burning brush, it's something we can collaborate together with and share that information and help to prevent those injuries in your communities. And so, please feel free to reach out if there's anything we can do to help. Please spread the word, again, that we are back in South Carolina and we are seeing all burn patients. And I have my information here. Please reach out if there's anything we can do to help. Any questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you, Rosalie, for that update. Thank you for what the Burn Center does to support our communities. Please keep in mind the collaboration that she mentioned. If there's anything that your department can do to collaborate with them or share data, I think it's a great opportunity for us and for them to better serve our communities. Next, we will roll into the update from State Fire. Chief Jones could not be here today with us, but Jason Pope will be providing an update.
Yes, obviously I'm not Jonathan Jones. He's a lot taller, he's a lot smarter, and his voice is a lot deeper than mine. But thank you for the opportunity to be here with you guys this afternoon, just to update you on some exciting things that are happening at State Fire. Again, thank you for your support as we do a lot of new things together. He's given me some things to share with you guys. I want to just briefly share a story with you for my portion of the Fire Academy piece. And if you were there at the Chiefs Conference in Myrtle Beach back in September, you've already heard this. So it's the repeat, okay? But it's an experience that we had. We were talking about this at lunch. For those of you who know me, I've been back there as a senior for about 2.5 years now. And I try to spend as much time as I can with students because I think that's very important to what we do. And so I do that a lot of times, just bake lunch with them in the cafeteria. And so about, 2 or 3 months ago, I was eating lunch in the cafeteria with some students from a Fire Instructor 1 class. A really engaged class. We were talking about how things were going with the class. And I had the instructor sitting across from me and one of the students. And we were kind of reminiscing because the instructor was about my age. And so we were reminiscing about when we took Fire Instructor 1 the first time. For me, it was April of 2001. Anybody took it longer than that? Who's older than me here? Who took it before that? April 2. Okay, we got some old hats in the room right here before that, right? What do you remember about the expectations when we went into fire? What were we told ahead of time about Fire Instructor 1? How were we to dress? Who remembers? Every day, right? Tie. And, you know, and if you knew how to dress, you wore a long sleeve shirt, right? If you didn't, some of you showed up with short sleeve shirts and a tie, right? That's a little bit of a joke. But anyway, we had to wear a tie every day, right? What did you have to bring with you to class, Billy? Remember? Looked about this size, right? What was it? A VHS tape. Probably have some people in the room today who probably never even seen a VHS tape, right? You remember there was a video camera. It looked kind of like the one back there, but it was much bigger, and we video ourselves, right? And we have to critique ourselves, right? So we were talking about that and some of the changes over the years with how we do Fire Instructor 1. Well, and if you remember back in those days, too, we had a pre-course assignment. If you remember, you got the book mailed to you 2 weeks ahead of time, right? And it had a cover letter, and it said, okay, here's your pre-course work. You know, you read first 2 chapters, I don't remember what it was, and come in and be prepared to discuss it, right? Well, if you've been doing business with us for a long time, you know we don't mail books out anymore, right? We don't do that ahead of time. There's a lot of reasons for that, right? I've been told that we would mail books out. Half of them would come back undeliverable, wrong address. The ones that actually did make it to the student for Fire Instructor 1, what would happen? They would bring it the first day of class, right? Okay, what did you say? It's still in the cellophane, right? They hadn't even cracked it open, right? So what is that, so what did the Fire Academy do? Well, we just stopped doing that, right? Because it was not effective, right? So as we're talking about this with the student says, man, I would have, and he was a really go-getter. He was very engaged in the class. He says, man, if I'd have gotten my book 2 weeks ahead of time, I could have taught, the whole first day. I'm very into it. And that was so good to hear, right, from a student that says, man, that would have been great. And so after we explained those reasons why, I said, well, let me ask you a question. I said, what if 2 weeks before the class, I sent you an email with a link to Blackboard with an ebook code in it that you could log in and read the whole thing if you wanted to. His eyes got real big. It's like, really? That would be awesome. That'd be great. I said, well, the good news is we can do that now. We have the technology now to do that. Okay? It was a very positive discussion, okay, with the student and how we are communicating with them and how we're sharing information. Okay? As we consider digital resources and going to the future, guys, again, we just talked about where we came from, right? With the coat and tie and the VHS. It is changing. Okay, the way we teach, the way we deliver resources, the way the academy operates is changing. It's getting better. Look at Billy Floyd right here, who has been highly successful with the live online way of delivering I-300 and 400. He's got a cult following or something. People around Billy Floyd and his classes, right? Because he's figured out how a way to do it, right? He's figured out a way to create a classroom-like experience online. Okay, guys, that's just really the beginning. Okay, it really is changing for us in how we do business and how we administer courses. Right now, today, we have a resident recruits class happening on campus. And that's kind of all, when we want to try something new, we try it there. Because it's a controlled group, it's on campus, it's easy to fix if we mess something up, right? Because it's right there. So today, they're in week, is it week 2 or 3? I think it's week 3 technically. Every part of the administration of the course is all digital. There's no course package associated with this on-campus class. And for those of you who teach with us, okay, how many times have you toted around green course packages right and had to deliver them to a regional coordinator or somebody? All those course packages, all that paperwork, almost 3,000 courses a year, all have to come back to Columbia and be physically processed by somebody. Those days are limited. Okay, it's going away. We're doing it now on campus with the recruit school. As soon as we are really comfortable with what it looks like, that means everything that's in that course package will be digital. Okay, PTMs, course evaluations, and testing. So as an instructor, when you're done, and I'm oversimplifying, but when you're most of it, the work will be done in Blackboard or LMS. When you hit I'm done, it's done, right? Realistically, the next minute that whole package could be processed by somebody in the office. Okay, if you're familiar with how we operate, if you know our regional staff, you know how much time they spend on the road, and how much time you probably spend on the road delivering stuff. Just imagine that one day soon all that goes away. Okay, it's a huge game changer for how we do business. For me, it's pretty exciting, okay, because I know how much better it's going to be for us. I know there will be people who will not like this, right? Because why? Because I'm changing it, right? And we don't like change. Well, just like we changed from the coat and tie and the VHS, we'll keep changing it, guys. Y'all know that that's a part of our business. We'll keep changing. But for me, that kind of stuff is very exciting. I hope it's exciting to you. If once we get this, if you're one of those folks that you're out there doing a regional recruit school, we're going to be coming to you to ask you to try this. If you want to be like in the early adopters, reach out to your regional coordinator and say, hey, we want to be the next one to try this. Hey, we want you. Come on in, let's try this, let's do this together. It'll really change how we do business, and it'll be fun, I think. So with that, let me update you on a few things that Chief Jones sent me to share with you. Y'all know we have 3 main program areas: the Fire Marshal's Office, the Fire Academy, and the Emergency Response Task Force. So Chief Jones wanted me to remind you, of course, about your 1% reports that are due by the end of the month. Now, if you noticed, we had a retirement at the Fire Marshal's Office, okay? So the Fire Portal Queen, as we call her, Susan Duncan, is no longer there. Now, one thing Susan was very good about is she was very good about hound dogging you. Okay? You're shaking your head. Yes. Were you the one that she's ever hound dogged? Yeah, probably. Maybe, right? She made it her mission in life to make sure you got your money. Okay? Well, she's retired now. So what I'm putting you on notice, okay, there might not be a person at the Fire Marshal's Office about to hold your hand. So if you got questions, ask, get on there, and get your report submitted so you can get your money. That job is posted, by the way, if you know somebody who's looking. Be safe. The notice for intent will be published here in mid-December. That'll be out there for 30 days. One thing we can brag about with Susan is last year, I think she told me, I heard this right, 100% of the eligible fire departments in South Carolina who were eligible to get VSAFE got it. But that's pretty good. Okay, that's really good. Okay, that's, again, she made that her purpose in life, to make sure you got your money. So that's coming out soon. Nearest, if we need departments to log in and to verify their status, so far today we have 238 fire departments who've been verified. A bunch of you logged in, but you haven't verified your status, so you need to do that. If you have questions, contact our staff. For emergency response, Chad's here too, Chief Beam's here. Please reach out to Chad, he's here. He asked to make sure we verify registration and mobilization notification system. If you got questions about that, please see Chad. Also, big thank you to all the agencies who are sending members and supporting members as to be a part of our USAR system, whether it's on the state team or the regional teams. Thank you so much. We got a bunch of them on campus training this week. It's a wonderful partnership between state fire and local fire departments. Just as a reminder about State Warning Point, y'all know to call us about fire fatalities. Please ask for a call back. Sometimes I get a notification or just an email. Just ask, make sure that the Warning Point knows that you want somebody from State Fire to call you back. And just a couple other things with dates with the Fire Academy. Our advisory committee meeting, which Chief Terry Sheriff, who gave a report earlier, he chairs that. That'll be November 12th. Mark your calendars. We're doing a NFA weekend at home. We're calling it the Midwinter Academy. It's a weekend devoted to all NFA classes right there on our campus. It's February 20th through 22nd of next year. The information's on the website to register. Please sign up. We want to fill that weekend up, and it'll be a great weekend. The last thing I'll share with you about Fire Academy, we, as a part of the new 1020 updates, 1020, if you're following the NFPA standards, which, I know more about the NFPA standards, a lot more now than I did 3 years ago. But if you're following it, the 1020 updates is all the officer curriculum, officer standards, and instructor standards. Well, a part of the updates as we get through them is we're going to be unveiling and creating 2 new classes that I'm pretty excited about. One is live fire instructor. Okay, this will be based on NFPA 1403 standard. It'll be the baseline. It's the place, we don't have that. Okay, I don't know how you learned how to do live fire training. I can tell you how I learned, right? How did I learn? How did you learn? Hey, let me go in here and show you how to do this, right? You kind of learn, it's OJT, right? That's all it really is. So we're excited to be able to offer this class that's based on the standard to be as a baseline, to get you started to do this and do it safely. We're also going to offer the live fire instructor in charge. Okay. Now to take that, of course, if you read the standards, you know you gotta have a fire instructor too. So be thinking about that. All those things are in the works, and it's exciting for me. We have a new instructor development coordinator in place, Eric Bolin. He's doing good stuff. I'm very excited about some of the ideas he has. We have not had that position in years, if you notice. Again, near and dear to my heart, because I think personally we need to raise the bar in South Carolina for what it means to be a fire academy instructor. Okay, I think we've kind of let it get a little too easy, maybe, to get it. Okay, and I think we've got to raise the bar. I think in South Carolina, we need to say, to be a fire academy instructor, it needs to be hard to get and easy to lose. Okay, and you can quote me on that. It needs to be hard to get and easy to lose. If you want to teach for us, you got to know your stuff, and you got to prove it. Okay, that's what it's going to come down to. That's what we want. I think that's what you want in the fire service. I think that's what you want us to deliver, and so we're making strides towards that. So, thank you again for the time. Thank you for letting us be up here today to give a report. I'll hang around for a little bit too if you got any questions at all. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Jason. Heard a lot of change in that conversation. It's good to see the updates, progression, things at State Fire, the things they're doing for the fire service. So, awesome partnership that we all have. As we round out the day, got one more announcement. I've asked William Barnes, as he's known by some, to join me at the stage.
Good afternoon, everyone, and I know I'm between you and leaving, so I'll make this quick. I'm very honored to announce that I'm going to be running for vice president. I've been in the fire service for over 30 years. I've been on the association for many years. Been on the executive committee for the last 4 years. Saw some great things. I mean, had great people in my life, relationships that have helped build me to where I am today. I'm the chair of the Strategic Planning our committee. We have a great plan. Part of that plan, let's see it through. I know we're trying to go around the rest of the areas of the state and talk to y'all personally, but I want to come up here and thank y'all. Thank you for being here and obviously help me through this. Made some great friends. I mean, I'm usually from the low country and made some great friends from the upstate. You guys gave me the opportunity to come up here and Helene to help out. So you had some logistic items that was needed. I was the person you were talking to. So I got to know y'all. I got to see some places up here I've never been to. So again, I'm very honored to be through this, and I'm looking forward to meeting all y'all on a personal level. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Just the last thing, kind of as we're closing out today, Fire Service Improvement Conference coming up in January. Legislative Day, we March 4th on the State House grounds, so just please mark your calendars for that. It's coming up. Big event, like it always is, so please mark that day. Start reaching out to your legislators. A lot of you have those relationships, so have them mark their calendars as well. Again, thanks for being here today. It's a great collaboration. Good time to take something back to your department and continue to grow internally with that culture. If you have any questions, have any issues at all, please see one of us in the shirts like I'm wearing today. Kind of a last thank you to Anderson City Fire Department, Anderson County Fire Service both for being our hosts. Been a great day today, good venue, good crowd today. If there's anything I can do personally, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. We will see you all again at the next quarterly meeting, which will be at Fire Service Improvement Conference in Columbia. So we've got a great speaker lined up for that night. Again, more collaboration. Please mark your calendars for that and join us. At this time, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Great.